Every year, more than 2 billion tires are manufactured worldwide. It is one of the most important parts of any vehicle, a soft surface of barely a few centimeters that decides braking, cornering, stability, and, above all, your safety. The truth is that literally, without tires, modern transportation would not exist. But have you ever wondered how they are actually made? How is it possible for a simple piece of rubber to support tons of weight, high speeds, and thousands of kilometers without braking? Well, today we will travel directly to China, home to one of the most gigantic tire megafactories on the planet. A place where, every day, tons of materials are processed into one of the most critical components of any vehicle. So, get ready, because you are about to discover how tires are mass-produced. Let's begin. Step 1. Extraction of raw materials. Every tire begins long before entering a factory. Its story starts with something almost no one imagines, a thick white liquid that slowly trickles from a tree. In enormous tropical plantations, especially in Asia, millions of rubber trees stretch for kilometers. When harvest season arrives, they are not chopped down or cut for wood. Deep and controlled incisions are made in the trunk to extract latex, a white liquid that flows slowly into collection containers. That liquid is true industrial gold. After being collected, filtered, and dried, the latex transforms into natural rubber, an incredibly elastic and resistant material capable of deforming again and again without breaking. But the modern tire cannot depend on nature alone. Here enters the second great protagonist of the process: synthetic rubber. Manufactured in gigantic petrochemical plants from petroleum derivatives, it joins the natural rubber to reinforce the final mixture. Its mission is clear: to provide wear resistance, stability at high speeds, and extreme durability. It is the combination of both that allows a tire to absorb impacts, maintain grip, and survive thousands of kilometers of real use. But something else is still missing. Along with the rubber come the ingredients that fine-tune the final performance. Carbon black, a carbon powder that reinforces the rubber and gives it its characteristic black color. Silica, key for improving grip, especially in the rain. And a series of chemical additives that control flexibility, aging, and heat resistance. All these materials are loaded into huge trucks and travel from plantations, mines, and chemical complexes to the factory where the true industrial transformation will begin. Step 2. Arrival at the factory and mixing. With the raw materials already extracted, the real transformation begins. Trucks and containers arrive relentlessly at the factory loaded with tons of rubber, additives, and technical compounds. The rubber, still in its raw state, goes directly into giant industrial mixers, known as Banbury mixers. True mechanical steel beasts designed to work under extreme temperatures and brutal pressures without ever stopping. Inside these machines, something key happens. The rubber is heated, compressed, and violently twisted while all the materials are gradually integrated, forming a dense and homogeneous viscous mass. Here, nothing is left to chance. Each ingredient enters in the exact order and the precise amount. A small error at this point could completely ruin the tire. That is why sensors and automatic systems monitor every second of the process. If anything deviates even slightly, the line stops instantly. When the mixing ends, the change is total. What were once simple materials is now a dense, dark, and uniform mass, the purest base of the tire. From this moment on, the tons of material are ready to take shape. Step 3. Calendaring and layer forming. The time has come to transform tons of mass into the key pieces of a tire. At this stage, no wheel exists yet, but all the layers that will form it are born. The rubber compound enters directly into enormous calendaring machines. Giant rollers spin tirelessly and crush the material with brutal pressure, transforming it into long, continuous sheets of rubber, perfectly smooth and with a thickness controlled to the millimeter. These sheets are not just simple strips of rubber. They are the starting point for everything that will come next. But here, more than one type of layer is manufactured. Besides the rubber, different types of sheets are created in this phase, each with a very specific function. On one hand, layers reinforced with high-resistance fabrics, which provide flexibility and prevent deformations when the tire spins at high speeds. And on the other, belts with steel cables, which will become the actual skeleton of the tire and allow it to support weight, extreme braking, and brutal lateral forces. Each layer is manufactured separately, automatically perfected, and cut with absolute precision. When this step ends, there are still no tires. But we already have all the layers ready to come together and give it life. Step 4. Manufacturing the casing. We reach the exact point where the tire begins to truly exist. The parts manufactured in the previous step are moved to rotary building drums, large metal cylinders that spin slowly without stopping. On them, the tire is assembled for the first time. As the drum spins, the layers are placed one by one, wrapping it with absolute precision and forming a perfectly circular structure. Each turn adds strength, and each layer brings the tire closer to its final shape. At this point, two critical elements enter. On one hand, the beads, extremely rigid steel rings situated at the base of the tire. They are responsible for keeping it firmly anchored to the rim, so that it does not detach even at high speeds or under extreme loads. On the other hand, the sidewalls, the lateral walls that connect the entire structure. They provide flexibility, absorb impacts, and allow the tire to deform without breaking when passing over potholes, curves, or road irregularities. Everything is assembled like a true industrial sandwich. Rubber, fabric, and steel are combined layer after layer, with no margin for error. When assembly ends, the result is as surprising as it is misleading. The tire already has its characteristic shape, but it is not strong yet. In the industry, it is known as a green tire. It is still soft, flexible, and cannot roll a single meter, but it already contains its entire internal structure. And now, it is ready to face the most extreme and decisive step of the whole process. Step 5. Molding and vulcanization. We reach the most impressive step of the process. The so-called green tire, still soft and fragile, is now placed into solid steel molds. True industrial capsules designed to withstand brutal conditions. Each mold contains the exact pattern of the tread, the sidewalls, and all the markings you will see later on the finished tire. Nothing is decorative. Each groove serves a critical function in grip, water evacuation, and road behavior. Once inside, the mold closes and vulcanization begins. The tire is subjected to extreme pressures and very high temperatures, which can reach 170 degrees. Enormous hydraulic presses compress it from all angles without truce. Here, it's not just about giving it shape. An irreversible chemical reaction occurs here. The sulfur and additives react with the rubber, transforming a soft mass into a super-elastic, resistant, and durable material. At the same time, the mold engraves every channel, every relief, and every detail of the tread pattern with millimetric precision. Everything is fixed forever. After several minutes under these extreme conditions, the mold opens. And what comes out has nothing to do with what went in. The tire now has a definitive shape, real strength, and is ready to roll. But before reaching your car, it must still pass its most demanding test. Step 6. Inspection and quality control. The tire is practically finished, but it is not yet worthy of going out into the world. Here begins the most implacable phase of the entire factory, where it is decided if the tire is useful or if it will be destroyed. As soon as it leaves vulcanization, each tire enters automatic inspection systems that do not forgive even the smallest error. The first barrier is X-rays. As the tires move down the line, these scanners pass through them completely and reveal their interior layer by layer. They look for defects invisible to the human eye, internal bubbles, failures in the steel cables, hidden deformations, or poorly sealed joints. A single microscopic defect can turn into a blowout at over 120 kilometers per hour, with devastating consequences. If the tire passes the internal scan, the next test arrives: extreme mechanical trials. Here, it is mounted on machines that make it spin, vibrate, and deform as if it were already rolling on the asphalt. The tire must behave exactly as it was designed. No more, no less. There are no second chances here. Defective tires are automatically separated from the line and sent for recycling or destruction. Because a failure here is not an industrial problem, it is a real risk to human lives. Only those that pass all tests without exception receive final approval. And then, finally, they can move on to the last step of the process. Step 7. Finishing, storage, and distribution. Once quality control is passed, the tire enters its final phase within the factory. It has already proven to be safe. Now it is time to prepare to go out into the real world. The first thing is the final finish. After molding, small rubber leftovers, thin lines, or remnants of the process known as flash may remain. Excess material that appears at the mold joints. Automatic cutting and polishing systems remove these remains with millimetric precision, leaving the tire clean, uniform, and visually perfect. Next comes the marking. Here, its entire identity is engraved directly onto the rubber. Exact measurements, tire type, certification codes, speed index, and maximum load. Nothing is decorative. Every number, every letter, and every symbol is critical information that determines how that tire will behave on the road. Afterward, the tires pass to industrial storage. Gigantic warehouses where thousands and thousands of units are stacked, classified by model, size, and destination. Everything is calculated so that, when an order arrives, the correct tire leaves in a matter of seconds. And then, the final journey begins. Trucks, trains, and shipping containers leave the factory day and night. Some tires will go directly to the assembly lines of automobile manufacturers. Others will end up in workshops, dealerships, and specialized stores around the world. And so, that white liquid that one day came out of a tree becomes a completely finished tire, ready to face the asphalt and keep the world moving. To finish, tell us, did you imagine this whole process? What brand of tires do you usually use? Leave us your answer in the comments, and if you liked this factory tour, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next industrial journey.